Welcome to Dialing In Your Coffee Business, where we help cafe and roastery owners build a healthy coffee business that takes great care of people, including them. Welcome to the Dialing In Your Coffee Business podcast. I'm Michael Ryan. I'm a certified business coach and consultant that helps cafe and roastery owners build a healthy coffee business that takes great care of people. That's my day job. But over the last few years, a desire to build a podcast that disseminates a lot of the information we've taught our clients over the years has been growing. And to that end, we're starting this podcast, Dialing In Your Coffee Business. We chose that name partially because a lot of owners spend time on bar or spend time behind the roaster, dialing in the roast or dialing in the espresso, but very little time is made available to dial in the business side of things. And so we wanted to create a podcast specifically for business owners and specifically for dialing in the business side of your operation. We wanted to create this podcast partially because I want to be able to cover even more ground with our clients in our group coaching and our one-on-one coaching. And if people listen to this podcast and then come on board as clients, we can start from a much further ahead place in the journey, so to speak. We also wanted to create this because, frankly, there's only so many people we can help through our courses and our small group coaching and our one-on-one coaching. And there are a lot more coffee business owners than just those who are going to sign up. And we want to help each and every person as much as we possibly can. The format of this podcast will be in three major types. Some episodes will be hosted by just me. Some episodes will be hosted with me and Maxwell Mooney, former owner of Narrative Coffee in Washington State. And finally, some with guests, usually virtually via Zoom or Riverside or something like that. Owners who are on the journey towards building something healthy that takes great care of people, including themselves. The three main things that make this podcast unique is, number one, it is geared exclusively towards coffee shop and roastery owners. We are talking about everything related to coffee through the lens of a business owner. We're not going to talk about the coffee industry in general. We're not going to talk about brew methods from a barista standpoint or optical sorters from a roaster's standpoint. If we talk about those topics, we'll discuss them exclusively through the lens of business ownership and whether or not those things are a good investment for your hard-earned dollars. But we're thinking of specifically business owners. Of course, we hope a lot of people listen to this and find it helpful, but you'll notice that we're aiming everything towards business owners, not to be exclusive to people who are not currently owners, but hopefully to, of course, support the owners, but also make people who are not owners a little bit more aware of what it's like to be at the helm of a business. People who have never owned a business before are very much like people who don't know how to drive a car. They may think they know how to drive a car, but they certainly do not because they've never done it. And that's okay. It's not because they're unintelligent. It's simply because they don't have that particular experience. And we want to disseminate more information to help more people be aware, specifically to support those cafe and roastery owners. Second thing that makes this podcast unique is we're going to intentionally host it with a focus on YouTube. The podcast will be available through all the normal channels. And if that's how you like to consume your podcast, that's great. Personally, I listen to and watch all my podcasts on YouTube now because the visual component makes it much more engaging. And so we're going to specifically focus on YouTube. So if you want to participate in this podcast, the comment section on YouTube is where you want to go. And finally, we are obsessed with teaching timeless principles, or what I call foundational frameworks. So most of the episodes that are hosted by me are going to be covering things that are universal and timeless. They're as universal and true as gravity. And I mean to say they are natural laws. They apply to everyone. They have always applied to everyone. And we're going to teach those to you via this podcast. This is something I've only ever covered with one-on-one clients before now. So I'm incredibly excited to make this information available to you at zero cost. We invite you to be as involved as you want to be in this podcast by chiming in on the YouTube comments section. If you want to hear a particular topic explored through the lens of business ownership, or if you want us to have a particular guest on to talk about business ownership, you can put that in the comments section on YouTube. And if you like something somebody else has posted, be sure to upvote that. And if you dislike a topic or something somebody else has voted, feel free to downvote it. But we're looking to create something that is positive and constructive. And frankly, that's pretty unique in the coffee industry, especially when it comes to platforms for coffee business owners. So if you're not being constructive and not being helpful, We certainly won't allow that. We look forward to being a positive influence for coffee business owners via this podcast. We hope that you will find the content helpful. We hope you will find it both encouraging and challenging. And we are excited to start taking into consideration your suggestions. We have about the first 100 episodes already mapped out. About half of those are already recorded. So you'll start to see us taking your comments seriously in terms of implementing them about episode 101 and beyond. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for your interest in building a healthy coffee business that takes great care of people, including you. I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Take care.